Hey there, tech fans. Rick here again with another gadget I think you're going to find pretty cool. It's a high-powered 57-watt dual-ported car charger from our friends over at VogDuo called the Charger Go. And it's designed to charge pretty much every portable device you own from a single 12-volt convenience outlet in your car. Now, the company's name should ring a bell because I've talked about them before on the channel. I've actually reviewed a few of their products, and I love the way they design things. They really are not only stylish in the way they create their products, but their engineering team are brilliant. They really are on the leading edge of all the new specifications that are coming out. So when you buy a product from them, it'll not only charge the stuff you've got today, but the stuff you might buy down the road. And that's really important to me because I hate buying accessories every year because some new technology comes out and my charger won't work with it. And what you'll find is if you get a product, it'll come with a charger, but that charger works well for the product you bought, but it doesn't work well with everything else. These guys are building a charger that's universal, that'll work with pretty much every standard that's out there today, and I'll get into the specs in a minute. Now, the way this clip's going to go is I'll do an unboxing and show you what comes with the product. Then I'll spend a lot of time around the nerdy details to explain to you exactly what this can do for you in a charging environment and why I like it so much, and really why it's different than the other products that are on the market. But before I get into all those details, in the spirit of full disclosure, I do want to tell you that they sent me this product for review. Now, they didn't just send it randomly to me. What I'll typically do is when I have a need, I'll go out there and start searching for a product that'll fit my needs. And more often than not, I'll go to their website and I'll find a product that's perfect for what I'm looking for. And I'll send them an email and I'll say, hey, look, I bought your charger. I like it a lot. Would you mind if I reviewed it on the channel? And they got right back to me and said, Rick, we'd love to review it on the channel. We'll actually send you one. You can use that for the review. So to show you that this isn't going to impact my impressions, I'm actually giving this one away. I don't need two of them. I have one of them and I like it. So I'm giving this red one away. And it's really simple for you to enter. So down the bottom in the comments section, you'll see a link. If you click that link, it'll come up with a really simple form asking for your email. Put your email in there. I'm not going to keep it. We're going to get rid of it when the contest is over. But after 7 days, I'm going to pick one winner at random, put this thing in an envelope, and I'm going to ship it to you. And I don't care where in the world you live. There's no shipping charges. There's no strings attached. I just want to give this thing away so somebody out there can use it because I love this product. So now that that's out of the way, let's talk a little bit about what comes with the kit, and then I'll get into some of the technical details around the product. So when you pop open the box, you'll immediately notice the charger. Now I'm going to get into the design considerations in a minute, but I mean, this is a work of beauty. It really is. I mean, car chargers typically to be round, like a cigar-shaped kind of thing, and they're big and they're ugly. They take up a lot of room. This is really thin and very sleek looking. It slides in really nice, and I'll get into the design of it in a minute, but the car charger's in there. You get a nice long USB-C to USB-C cable, so I'll explain what the ports do in a minute, but the fact that they give you a nice charging cable with it is great, because a lot of car chargers, especially the less expensive ones, don't come with any kind of cable or even instructions for that matter, and they give you a really nice instruction manual that explains how to use it, what the LEDs in the front mean, and what the specifications are for charging. That's on the back as well. So I like when they put a printed manual in the box because a lot of times I'll have questions about how much current can it deliver, can it charge the device I've got. So knowing that I've got that specification in the manual is really helpful. All right, so let's talk about the design first. And again, I mentioned a minute ago, most car chargers are circular car chargers, and that seems to work okay. You plug it into your dashboard. What do you care? You plug two cables into it. But something about this design is really just incredibly portable. I travel a lot with my job, and I take a lot of car chargers with me, and having something like this that slides into my pocket and it doesn't really add any bulk is just so convenient. On top of which, they built this out of a flame retardant material. Not that the thing's going to burst into flames, but it's nice to know they took the extra step to not just use standard plastic. In case it gets hot, it's not going to melt in the summertime on you. If you look closely, and I'll do some close-ups of this, I've got really nice metal detail on the front. These clips on the outside aren't plastic, they're metal. The front tip is metal as well, so a lot of these companies use like cheap conductive plastic that over time, when you insert it and pull it out a few times, that wears off and it doesn't work well. But what's even worse is even if it doesn't fail completely, if that metal doesn't conduct the current from the 12-volt outlet well enough, you're not going to get the current needed in the back end. Now, technologically, they've built a lot of brains into this particular product, and I'll talk about the specifications first. So I mentioned it's a dual port charger. What I mean by that is you've got a full-size USB-A connection back here, which is used for all the standard USB charging devices that are out there today. So if you have a cable for your phone, your tablet, whatever it happens to be, you can charge it off of USB-A. Now, the thing about USB-A is even though they all look the same and you look at other chargers and they've got USB-A connections on it, there's a couple of different currents that the chargers can supply. And if you don't look at the specifications, you may spend a little less and get one that really can't charge your device as well. The specifications for current, they're all 5-volt outlets, but the current on those can vary from 1 1 amp to 1.5 to 2 to 2.5. This is a 2.4 current outlet, which means you're going to get the full maximum current to the device you're charging. A lot of the others that charge an amp or an amp and a half could take twice or 3 times as long to charge your device. So the fact that they've got a full-size USB-A that'll charge up to 2.4 amps is a really nice thing. The other thing that's really cool about both of these outlets is that they're adaptive charging outlets, which means it doesn't just start firing electrons at the device you've got out there. The first thing it does is sort of have a little bit of a discussion with the device and figures out what charging level is that device at, how much current should I send to it to be safe, and it really makes adjustments as you're charging. So it's a really, really smart unit. The unit also has over voltage, over current, and over temperature protection. So if you've got this in your car and it's a really hot afternoon, it's not going to maybe turn on if it's too hot. So it's constantly monitoring the environment and monitoring how the current is being sent to the device to make sure that you're safely charging that device as quickly as possible. All right, the second outlet on here is a USB-C connection. Now, USB-C is the latest standard that's out there. All the new devices are heading for USB-C for a lot of different reasons. It does charging really well. It'll transfer audio and video faster. If you're doing file transfer, it's just faster. But for today's discussion, it's about power. The USB-C standard provides for a bunch of different voltages at a bunch of different currents. But in addition to just being a USB-C, it's also a USB-C PD, which is power delivery. A lot of the chargers that are USB-C chargers can't deliver that power delivery standard, and that's the latest and greatest standard, which means some of the new devices, like the Nintendo Switch, some of the laptops, need a PD charger, or they'll charge incredibly slow or won't charge at all. So what you're getting on that USB-C side is not only the USB-C connection, which again has got multiple voltages. You can charge at 5 volts, 9 volts, 12 volts, 15 volts at a full 3 amps, but it also charges at 20 volts at 2.25 amps, which is the PD standard. So knowing you can charge your phones, your tablets, your laptops, your Nintendo Switches, any new devices that come out that need a PD standard will charge out of that side of outlet. It's just really incredibly cool because it really is kind of a future-proof technology, because I can charge anything I own today that charges off a USB-A at a full 2.4 amps, and I can also charge all the new stuff that I own that'll charge through a USB-C power delivery. So they've thought of everything, and again, that protection that I talked about a minute ago about over current, over voltage, and over temperature applies to both of those outlets, and you can use them both at the same time. One other thing they've built into this, which I think is really clever, is when you first plug this in or first turn on your car, it checks your battery voltage in the car. And it'll come up with a red warning light if your battery voltage is getting low enough where you have to look at maybe changing your battery or having the terminals cleaned, because sometimes they get dirty. That's really important to know, because in the Northeast we get some pretty wicked winters, and having a battery that's right on the edge of starting my car, if it gets to be a cold morning, it may drop below that voltage where I can actually start my car. So knowing, well in advance of the battery getting to that level that I've got issues is kind of a nice little convenience thing, and they built that in with the LED off to the side here. So if you plug this thing in and you see the red LED come on, you know you've got issues with your battery that you should definitely take a look at. Get it to a shop or take a look at it yourself. All right, the last thing I'll talk about is sort of this, I'm going to call it the everything charger. The fact that I know that I've got this thing that'll work with every device I own, as opposed to buying a charger that I'm spending a little less money on. Maybe I'm saving a couple of bucks, but it works for some devices. And then I've got to have this happen to me. I put a second charger in to charge my PD devices, and I've got the first charger charging all my USB-A devices. It just takes up a lot of extra room in my car. So what you've got here is a charger that, again, works for the stuff you own today and the stuff you're going to buy for the next year or two, because that PD standard, the USB-C PD standard, is the brand new standard that all the new phones are heading to. So if you've got a lot of the Android phones there today, I know Apple's still using USB-A, but you can charge a quick charge, and this will do that quick charging as well. But eventually it'll all be USB-C. It's nice knowing I've got a transitional charger here that'll charge both of those standards. So that's pretty much it for the clip. I like it a lot, and I test a lot of different products. I don't like to talk about a lot of the products in the channel because they're kind of like ho-hum, they work and they're great. When I get something like this that's, just a beautiful design. I mean, look at that thing. It's wafer thin, like the Monty Python guys say. It's wafer thin. It's just a beautiful charger. And the fact that, it's got all the standards built into it. It's got all the protections built into it. It's small. It's portable. I just love it. I think it's a fantastic product. So I'm willing to spend a couple extra bucks to get something like this that'll charge everything I own and know that I'm not going to have issues with it. And I'm not going to have to worry that I've got some kind of wonky charger that's going to damage my really expensive device down the road. I know this one's going to send just the right amount of current at just the right voltage to quickly and safely charge my device. So that's all I had for today. So again, it's the VogDuo Charger Go, and it's a 57-watt dual-ported charger. I love it. I think it's a fantastic product. I've got a link below if you want to go check it out. I recommend you do if you're in the market for a car charger, because I've looked at a lot of them, And for me, this is the one that I'm going to want to own. So thanks an awful lot for watching. If you have any questions about anything I've covered today, please drop those in the comments below as well. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. And I appreciate you guys watching. I love putting these kind of clips together, so hopefully you're finding value in them. And until next time, happy tech!